So Chuck, tell us a little bit about your business. Not in a sentence or two, but let's go into depth of what your business is.
Okay. Well, the insurance side is very easy. It's home and auto insurance, business insurance. Life insurance is the exciting part about that, because a lot of people, it's interesting how they have no problem paying, $150 a month for car insurance, $100 a month for house insurance. But when you talk about life insurance, and now all of a sudden they're thinking of death and all of this negative stuff, and you're saying, well, hey, it's $30-$40 a month. Yeah, but but then oh my gosh, we could go on to hours the horror stories about what happens when people don't have that. So it's really important to get over the hump, get over your fears, talk to your insurance agent about that, and just put some kind of a policy in place. Because think about this, one thing that always happens in death is everybody is sending the survivors bills, funeral homes, credit card companies, car payments, house payments, bill after bill after bill after bill. So you as the spouse or the father or the bread earner, things like that, you have to think about, okay, if I'm gone, and it's possible, it's not a if situation, it's a when situation as far as death goes. But think about this, okay? So if you're no longer here,
so far it is.
Yeah, that's true. Yes, right. We never know, right?
Yeah.
But think about, okay, so if one day, God forbid, you happen to die, and all of a sudden your spouse is getting all these bills coming in, the question you've got to ask yourself is, do I want her to have to work extra hours, maybe hire a babysitter, have somebody else raise my kids while she's struggling to meet these, 5-digit bills coming in? Or would I want to do the right thing and get a life insurance policy right now so that when this happens, she gets a check to not only pay all those bills off in one check, but she's got enough left over to maybe go back to college or maybe provide for the kids' college, things like that.
Yeah.
So to me, it's a matter, and I'm just being bold about this because I'm on the bad side of these stories, but it's a responsibility piece. If you're going to be involved in a relationship, whether it's with a spouse or kids or both, whatever, then your responsibility doesn't end at death, even though they say till death do us part. The reality nowadays is what? Till debt do us part.
Okay. I like that pun right there.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, you got to try to lighten up life insurance, but no, I mean, it really comes down to it. Think about, okay, they're counting on you. And if you're not here to provide that, wouldn't it be nice if at least a check could come over and take your place? That's really what it comes down to.
For sure. And I'm going to check these levels real quick.
Yeah.
Dude, I love how when you start talking, you just go.
Well, yes. Well, I'm passionate about this, so it's important because I always hear about the bad stories. I met a woman last year who great story, right? She came from Germany with one suitcase at age 16, started off her life, had a husband who died in a car accident, and then within a month, she and her 2 young daughters are on the street, literally. Because he didn't have a life insurance policy to provide a check, and so they're devastated,
There's no, if you don't have a life insurance, there's no other way besides that. I mean, there's surely there's like assistance, but I'm sure, of course, you probably don't want to have to go through that route.
Exactly, right. Right. So it's a question of, regarding life insurance, do you want the people counting on you to have a life of dignity or disparity? Because there is a system out there called welfare and, Medicaid and things like that. So there are systems, but they're not letting your survivors live. They're just kind of scratching to get by.
For sure.
And
the life insurance kind of not only lets them live, but live comfortably and good, at least for a certain period of time. I mean, depending on how big your life insurance is.
Exactly.
I know I was only paying like $12 a month at one time.
It's so cheap.
And it was $12 a month, but I think it was like $50,000.
Exactly.
It was still something,
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, and $50,000, that's a lot of people's salaries. I think that's above the average salary.
It is, really, yeah. But I'll just share a good story about it. So one of my colleagues in Utah told me this story that is just amazing. He met with an older couple who they were friends with, and he goes to the whole life insurance discussion for about an hour. They're kind of going back and forth on whether they want it or not. And at the end of the day, the wife says, well, no, I just don't think we can afford it. I just don't think we should get it. And so the guy says, hey, at least I gave you the information to make a well-informed decision, and this is your decision, so this is all I can do. He walks out to the car, starts putting his bag in the trunk, and the husband followed him out. And he says, you know what? I need this. I need this. I need this. So I'm going to come to your office tomorrow morning. I'm going to sign a check. I'm going to sign the application. And in the rules of life insurance, once you do those two things, even if the policy hasn't been approved yet, you are covered. So the cool part is this man came to the agent's office the next morning, filled out the application, wrote the check, and then 3 weeks later is driving home on a country road, slides off a ditch into an irrigation field, and drowns. So here's the interesting thing about it, right? is that a week later, the agent goes to the funeral, and after the funeral, the wife comes running up to him, and she's just burying her head in his chest, just crying uncontrollably for like 5 minutes. And she's just going, oh my gosh, I wish I would have done this. I wish I would have done this. I can't believe I said no to this kind of stuff. What am I going to do? And she's just thinking all these bills are coming in, and she's got no more husband. She's got no more income coming in. She was devastated. And the cool part was, and this is what I like to do when I'm doing, is that the insurance agent pulled out a check for $500,000 and said, you are going to be okay. Instantly changed your life, just like that. Instantly changed life. Here she's like devastated. It's like, what are we going to do? And it's like one little paper check made everything okay, and then some. That's why I like doing what I do in life insurance.
For sure.
But that's just one little power of it, you know?
Is that 500,000 something that, is that like a whole check? She gets that at once? Or?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And see, here's the other piece, right? And this is what people, we're on a podcast. We're educating people here, right?
Yes.
So what happens when you don't have life insurance? Well, everything has to go through probate. So you're still responsible for house payments and bill payments, blah, blah, blah. And you got to figure this stuff out. The great thing about life insurance, it is instant, tax-free cash that does not have to go through probate. You get a check and you spend it any way you want to. Nobody can say anything about it. That's the power of that stuff.
What would you do if you got $500,000?
It's funny now. You're promoting my company, right? So American National has these little cute videos they done on that. What would you do if you had $500,000?
Really? Nice.
Yes. It's from our cash back thing, but it's also on this as well. Yeah. But no, the thing that you want to do, and this is the number one thing you want to do, and this is why I love American National, because in order to, let's get into it, right?
Yeah.
So here's what we do is with American National, you write a home policy, you write an auto policy, and then if you write a life insurance policy, they give you 5% off the house and car insurance, which helps pay the premium. So back to your question, what would you do with that? The main thing you want to do with life insurance is pay the house off. Because you don't want your loved ones being homeless, like the lady from Germany, you know?
I would put some of it in investments. And
yes.
But paying off the house is an investment.
Yes, it is, because you build equity over the years.
Yes.
I mean, at some point you can get a second mortgage if you need to, reverse mortgage once you're over 65. Yeah, pay off the house first and foremost. Make sure you're not homeless.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
That's a good thing to do.
But then after that, and I want to promote this, right? So for the listeners out there, you want to go to lifehappens.org, LIFEHAPPENS.org, because that is a nonprofit organization. No insurance company owns that. It was a great legacy piece by a man named Marv Feldman, who was an amazing life insurance agent. And his son thought, you know what? People are afraid to meet with life insurance agents. They're confused when they meet with life insurance agents. How about we empower people to be able to do the research on their own, to get the videos, the real life stories, run their own needs assessment calculators, run their own projections, what it's going to cost, do it on their time in their home. And now with COVID, it's even easier. So tell everyone to go to lifehappens.org and just go through the calculators, watch the videos, read the stories. It's amazing, because then you'll be empowered on, wow, here's what family XYZ did when this person passed away. So it's a great tool, lifehappens.org. That's a little free plug for those guys. Yeah.
Nice. I'm going to have to check that out.
Yeah. So now let's talk about life insurance, right? Because really, when you look at it, it's really death insurance, but they couldn't call it death insurance because nobody would buy it, right? But yeah, years ago it was death insurance. Now it's what we call life insurance, and American National Insurance is one of the few that has what are called living benefits. What is a living benefit? So the great thing about these policies now, right, is that people back in the old days would have a stroke and die. So you'd have a life insurance policy, heart attack and die. Well, now they're living because of medical technologies. So we as an insurance company and an industry got smart and said, hey, if somebody has a heart attack, but they can't really work anymore, or a stroke and they're debilitated, or even if they get in a car accident and can't take care of themselves.
So it's actually life insurance.
It's actually life insurance, yes. Yeah, so if you have any of those conditions, we cut you the same check, instant tax-free cash right to you, so that you can pay your medical bills off. Or let's say, and this is another great story.
Isn't that what health insurance is, though?
To a certain degree, yes. Okay. Yeah, but it's like, why not also have money on top of that?
Yeah, well, why not? Yeah.
Yeah, and here's the cool part. So we had one guy who was a grandfather, and he was diagnosed with terminal cancer, going to die in less than 2 years. So he qualified to get the money out of his life insurance policy while he's alive. Now, the cool part about this is that he takes the entire family to Europe on an amazing first-class vacation, so that instead of his family going to a hospice, seeing this man hooked up to tubes as their last memories of grandpa, they've got these amazing videos and pictures and memories of what he had done.
Yes.
That's freedom and choice. Again, that's dignity, not desperation. That's what life insurance does.
Nice.
So don't be afraid of it, for crying out loud. Talk to me, talk to somebody about it. But, but make sure that, your car is protected, your house is protected. People have insurance on cell phones, but not on yourself. Come on, man. Oh my gosh.
I don't have insurance on my cell phone.
We're going to fix that in about 10 minutes here.
And cell phone insurance?
No, on you. We're going to get you insured, yes. No, I'm just kidding, but yeah. But no, the great thing about it is that I can actually get people life insurance within about 10 minutes.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, how do you do that? Well, we fill out the app, you write a check, and as long as it's approved, you're covered.
Nice.
It's not a big process like people think it is, you know?
No, for sure.
Piece of cake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a show where we have real conversations with the business owners and entrepreneurs here in Colorado Springs, doing things in the community of Colorado Springs.